This is the presentation that goes along with our video tutorial titled Basics of Email Marketing. We have 4 simple items that we're going to cover in this video tutorial series. The first one is email lists. Second one is going to be newsletters. Then we're going to talk about sign-up forms, and then autoresponders. So let me talk just briefly about each of these, and then we'll get into detail and actually go on to AWeber's site to show you how to actually execute some of these concepts. So the first one is email lists. Every email service provider has lists. That's the basic fundamental principle of email marketing, is you have a list of contacts who have opted in to receive email from you, and they are put on a list. And all lists require at least one thing, obviously, and that is the email address. So at minimum, you're going to have an email address per list, and you're also going to have, if you choose to, a first name, a last name, and you can even put custom variables in there for each list. We're not going to get into that in this particular video tutorial series, but it's just a concept to think about, is the fact that each of your lists at your email service provider can actually contain custom fields for your organization, or custom fields related specifically to them being on that list. So that's the first item we're going to cover in depth a little bit later, is email lists. The next is newsletters. Newsletters is a generic term for an email with content that goes out to a list. So this is simply, a newsletter is simply an email that is sent to a particular list. And in AWeber, we're going to show you how to create a newsletter. Most email service providers allow you to pick from a template, and they also allow you to use a very intuitive editor that creates the HTML and the programming in the back end needed to do advanced stuff like display images and display tables and things like that. So that is newsletters. The next item we're going to cover in this video is sign-up forms. Sign-up forms are extremely powerful because what it is it is your email service provider giving to you the exact code, the HTML code needed to add people to your list. So let me back up. So your email service provider is actually going to give you a piece of text. This piece of text can be used on a WordPress blog. It can be used in your own personal site that you manage yourself. So it's extremely powerful, and we'll show you in this video series how we create a sign-up form. The last item we're going to discover in this video series are autoresponders. So we're going to talk about what they are and how to use them in depth later in the video series. I just wanted to touch briefly right now on what an autoresponder really is. An autoresponder is simply an automated email sent to the individual who opts into one of your lists. So that's the overview of the 4 parts of this video. Thank you again for watching. This is Larry with Jupiter Techs. So here I'm on my AWeber homepage, and up here near the top is a Create and Manage Lists link. I'm going to click on that. And here are all my lists. I want to show you how to create a new list by clicking on the big green button. We need to give this list name a very unique name across all clients inside AWeber. So usually a little prefix specific to your company will work. So for Jupiter Techs, we use JT dash and then the name of our list. So I'm going to build a holiday list, my Christmas card list. Anytime you send to this list, it's going to appear to come from the same person. So you have a name section of that and an email section of who this email comes from when you send to your list. So here's the from name, and here's the address. In order to comply with CAN Spam Act, you have to have a contact address in every email that is sent, a physical address. Notifications. This is where you can be notified every time somebody is added to the list. This is not a necessarily helpful feature for most business applications. However, we're going to show you how to do it right now just in case. So we're going to send an email to myself each time somebody's added to my Christmas card list or my holiday list. So we're adding a list. We've given it a name of JT Holiday. AWeber has told us that the list name is available. It's going to be a Christmas card list. This is what's displayed to the user. We have our from name. This is the name that's going to appear being sent from whenever sending to this list. And we've told the system to send an email to Larry Hussey at this email address every time somebody's added to the list. So we're going to click Save Settings. Hopefully everything works out and you get a message saying successfully saved settings. But we're not done yet. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to personalize our list. So we're going to give our list a branding. Our company name. Let's just go with the technical name of Jupiter Techs. We're going to use our website. And remember, this company branding is for this list. So if you wanted a different website URL that was specific to holiday, because this is a holiday list, you may want to send them to a different. We're just going to put a little slogan in the signature. We're not going to demonstrate any of this social media sharing at this point, but go ahead and take a look at it. It's a way that you can automatically share an email broadcast with your social media accounts as well. We're going to save settings again and wait for the successfully saved settings message. And we're going on to the final step. So step 2 is personalize the list. Step 3 is confirmed opt-in. Every time somebody is added to this list, they're going to have to confirm that they want to be on the list. And they confirm that by clicking a link in an email that's automatically sent to them. You can customize this confirmation message. We can edit any of these elements just by clicking on it. Our opt-in on web forms should be off. This is going to allow you to add people to your list at AWeber from any WordPress site or any other content management system site without that person having to double opt-in. It makes it so that people who are added through web forms do not have to opt in again by clicking on an email confirmation you send them. And we're going to set one up that is our holiday thanks. Thanks for signing up for my holiday list. We're going to save settings. Settings successfully saved. So we just showed you how to create a list, how to do the 3 basic steps, the basic settings, personalizing the list, and what I think is one of the most important and forgotten about is this setting, number 2, has to be off. You have to not require double opt-in on web forms. Thank you again for watching this segment of the video. The next section of our video is going to cover newsletters and, as AWeber calls them, broadcasts. Now that we have learned to create a list at AWeber, we're going to learn how to send to that list in AWeber. So I'm here on my home page in AWeber, and I'm going to put my mouse over this down arrow right here, And this is going to give you your 3 different options for sending to an email list at AWeber. The first one is a drag and drop email builder. The second one is a plain text message. The third, code your own HTML. In this example, we're going to use the first option, drag and drop email builder. There's 3 steps to sending an email. The first one is design, the second one is sharing, the third is publish. We're on the first, we're just designing the email that's going to be sent out. So I went right here to templates because this is going to give me a great head start on the design and on the look and feel of an email. It's basically all done for me. So I'm going to select this one here, the rooftop. Gives me this little header. So I've selected that template. Now I'm going to personalize it. And in this example, I'm sorry, I don't have any holiday related text ready, so we're going to do the world famous hello world. We're going to save it. And we're going to go next. By clicking next, we get to the sharing section. This is where we connect to social media and post it automatically on Facebook and on Twitter, but we're going to skip this step. Publish. This tells AWeber when do you want to schedule this email broadcast to go out. Do you want it to go out immediately as a test, or do you want to schedule it for some time in the future? So for me, I'm going to schedule it for later. I'm going to send it on Christmas Eve. The date, the 24th, and it's going to ask me what time. I want to send it in the early afternoon. I click on again the big green button, schedule and queue for, and it's going to confirm here the date you have and time you have selected. So once I've selected the time, it will be confirmed here to me on this big green button. Next, we're going to cover sign-up forms in AWeber. In this section, we're going to create a sign-up form for our page on WordPress. So we're on our AWeber homepage. We go to the menu item Sign-up Forms. We're going to click the big green button labeled Create a Sign-up Form. There's 3 steps associated with creating a sign-up form. The first is design. That's what we're going to start with. The second is going to be settings, and the third and final one is the publish. So you can see here that there's many templates that you can choose from under several different categories. I'm going to just choose a popular one just to show you how to load a template. Click on the big blue button labeled Load Template here. And it gives us this visual editor for what our form is going to look like on a web page. So I'm going to first edit the header. Join my holiday list. It's going to be my header. I'll click Save. And these are the fields that are going to be displayed on your form. And this is obviously the button that they're going to click on to subscribe to your list using this form. We're going to remove these 2 rows here just by clicking the X. We're going to save the form. Now that our form is saved, we're going to go to step 2. Step 2 is to set the basics of your form up. One of them is the form name. We're going to call this the holiday form. It asks us about Facebook integration, and again, I encourage you to explore the sharing features within AWeber, but we're going to skip those for this particular video. The thank you page, you're most likely going to want to set a custom page, meaning you're going to want them to go to a page on your site or a page that you set, as opposed to a standard page that is on AWeber. The basic version option here, which is the default, is simply a text-only page with your logo. So selecting on custom page, we're going to have a holiday thank you page. We're going to keep the other settings the default. We're going to save our form. Go to step 3. Now we're ready to publish this form to the web. And we have 3 basic options here that AWeber has given us. And I'll go over each of them. Now we're ready to publish the form. There are 3 basic ways to share your form in AWeber, and I'm going to go over them one at a time. The first option is labeled I will install my form. So this is somebody who is comfortable with HTML and you have access to edit your own page. So we're going to click on that. It expands to these 2 options, a JavaScript snippet option and a raw HTML version. And you can quickly see that this is the amount of text that you have to put on your website for the JavaScript version, and this is the amount of text for the HTML version. We highly recommend the JavaScript snippet version. Second option, my web designer will install my form, simply emails this information to your web developer. So if you have a company or a person who manages your website, you can easily just send them an email by clicking this option. I fill out the form and click send to my designer. The last option is if you want to use AWeber's page exclusively for this form, meaning you're going to put this link somewhere in social media, you're going to put it somewhere else. The last section of this video is going to cover autoresponders within AWeber. We're going to learn about autoresponders. Autoresponders are sometimes referred to as follow-up emails. And an autoresponder is essentially an email that is sent to a subscriber a certain period of time after they've subscribed to a list. So most autoresponders are used as an immediate autoresponder, meaning this email is going to be sent out just as soon as somebody gets on the list. So within AWeber, the way to set up an autoresponder is to go to messages, and they're actually called follow-up series. So you click on follow-up series and it asks you to create your first follow-up. And in this example, we're just going to do a plain text one. We're not going to use the drag and drop email builder like we did previously. So we're just going to show you how to do it if it was just going to be a plain text, thank you for subscribing message. The first thing we're going to do is set a subject line, thank you for subscribing. Then we're going to set up the message. My message is going to say, thank you for subscribing to my holiday list. I'm going to click next. I'm going to leave this checked. This means that I do want clicks in this email to be tracked. I'm going to click save and exit. So as you can see, here is the follow-up series that we just created. It's called Thank You for Subscribing. And the timing right now is set to send immediately. If we wanted to, we could change that to not send it immediately, but maybe send it a day after or 2 days after. In addition, what you can do within AWeber with this follow-up series feature is you can set not just one autoresponder, but a series of autoresponders, all based on how long after they subscribe do you want to send an email. Day 5 gets this email and day 10 gets this other email. So that's follow-up series in AWeber, or otherwise known as autoresponders. Thank you very much for watching our video, Basics of Email Marketing. with AWeber presented by Jupiter Text. This is Larry Hussey. Thank you very much for watching this video.